Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Today, guys, though, we're not talking about food. We're talking mostly about not eating or this concept that is popular these days, intermittent fasting. I'm going to answer the most commonly asked questions that I get a lot from people, either personally or on social media. And this is going to be basically your guide on how to start intermittent fasting or maybe improve your practice without, complicating it too much, because some people just really get into the woods when it comes to fasting, when it's really a simple concept and process. That's why actually most people like it, because it is simple. Instead of, following different complicated dietary approaches, you just eat or don't eat. As simple as that. But anyhow, what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting, usually what we mean by that is fasting that is repeated. That's why it's intermittent, but it is interrupted by the eating window. So when we actually eat food. And intermittent fasting is usually any fast starting from 14 hours of not eating daily. That, of course, includes overnight not eating period. So 14 hours plus, sometimes 13 hour plus, but definitely not less than 12 hours. So that's what intermittent fasting is. And you don't have to do it every day to follow it. You can do it every other day or whatever suits you. So how long do you usually fast on intermittent fasting? It depends. It depends what you want to do, what your goals are, how your lifestyle is designed, what works for your lifestyle, for your metabolism, for your health, for your goals. What you can do long term, that is also a very important factor for intermittent fasting to be effective. And also what you want to consider when it comes to the length of intermittent fasting is how it affects your eating habits, how it affects your overall stress levels. Like if it makes your life too stressful, or after your intermittent fasting, you start eating a lot, overeating, binging on all sorts of stuff, then it's probably not a good idea to fast for that long. Maybe you need to start with something smaller, something that actually works for you. It makes you feel better, and then you can build from that. The body adapts, and you can make it better after you try it and get used to it. So for me personally, I started out with 16 hours, then I built it up to 18 hours. These days is 22 hours, and every week I do 42 hours, but I built up to that. At the beginning, it was hard to do even 16 hours. So again, you don't have to start with like one meal a day right away. It might not be doable if you take into account the whole picture of your life and how it affects your stress levels and your eating behavior once your fast is finished. So you can start anywhere from 14 hours. That's like where I would recommend to start, and then build it up to anywhere to like one meal a day kind of option if you'd like to. But that's usually what people mean by intermittent fasting. So you can fast for 14 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours, and 22 or one meal a day usually. So that is when you fast or how long you fast. And when do you usually fast? Like some people will tell you that intermittent fasting is all about skipping breakfast or skipping dinner. None of them is wrong. You can skip breakfast, you can skip dinner, or not skip breakfast or dinner, but just do it later and call it breakfast or dinner. The most important thing is the amount of hours that you spend without food, without eating, without consuming any calories and nutritious substances. So that's the most important thing. And what you choose to do ultimately should be defined by what works best for your lifestyle and your goals. So build your fasting experience around your lifestyle and your goals, not the other way around. That, you might hear like, oh, this fast is the best, and this is why you should do it. it might be truth, but if you can't do it, or it adds up a lot of stress to your life, or you start binging on all sorts of crap after that ideal fast, then it means it's not exactly working for you. So always keep the end goal in mind, and your lifestyle and your health. Then there are a few goals that people usually have when trying intermittent fasting. So gut health. If you're trying to fast for gut health, it is very important to not consume any substances that can somehow trigger your gut activity. So even coffee in this case might be questionable. And for sure, anything with calories, anything with sweet taste, even sweet stevia. Well, stevia is also kind of like questionable, but if you really want to be sure that your gut is resting and getting healthier, then probably you would want to stick with something like water, herbal tea, and that's about it, guys. And what about duration? 14 hours, that's all you need really to start healing your gut. If you'd like to fast longer, try it. If you don't want to fast longer, then 14 hours is probably an optimal duration of fasting for your gut health. Fasting for weight loss. The most important thing, guys, for weight loss is usually what helps you to manage the amount and the quality of food that you eat. And so if intermittent fasting helps you to do that, manage the amount of food you eat and the quality of that food, then it will help you to lose weight. If it does the opposite, and so you fast and then you eat much more than you usually would, then it's not going to help you with weight loss. Intermittent fasting is not some magic cure. It does help people to manage their food, and that's why it seems to be effective for weight loss, because when you do intermittent fasting, you usually eat fewer meals, and that allows you to manage less meals, make less food decisions, and that helps you to lose weight, as well as usually the amount of food decreases, right? So what is recommended for weight loss? It seems that early intermittent fasting, so basically finishing your food by like 3-4 p.m., works better for weight loss. It might not work from my experience, for a lot of people who actually like to have dinner, not breakfast, and it's easier for them to skip breakfast, not dinner. So for that reason, it might be better to skip breakfast. Again, depends on every individual person, like what works for you. But from the studies, it seems that early intermittent fasting would work better for weight loss and our metabolism. As for the hours, for the duration, again, start with 14, try 16. People say that 16, 18 is optimal because people seem to be able to do that. And then it's easier for them to manage the eating window without, going crazy about food and eating all the food in that short eating window. So 16, 18 hours, I would probably recommend. And early intermittent fasting works better. Fasting for lean muscle and, muscle burning fat, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating seems to work the best under the following condition. If you do your workout fasted, and then you open your eating window right after that, that will allow your body to recover, to build up that muscle. And at the same time, fasted workouts will help you to burn through that resistant fat that you might have, and will also will teach your body to burn fat for energy when your carbohydrate storage is already depleted. So that might really help you to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. But a word of caution, protein, things like zinc, that allows the body to do protein synthesis and build up muscle, and there are other nutrients are still important. So if in that eating window all you're eating is rice and beans, then it's going to be really hard to build muscle, even though you might lose some fat. So, but again, for lean muscle, 16-hour fasting window seems to work the best. Then in that fasting window, you do the workout, and you open your eating window right after that workout. The next one, what breaks a fast? Basically everything but plain water, herbal tea, and coffee, plain coffee without anything added to it, is kind of controversial item. Like some researchers would say that they think it might break the fast because it is metabolized by our liver. Some researchers say, well, it's not metabolized by our gut bacteria or anything. So it's controversial. But I do drink my black coffee, nothing added, in my fasting window. But fats, any sorts of non-caloric sweeteners, anything with sweet taste, would probably not be a part of the fast, even though again stevia is quite controversial since it's not really a sweetener, it's more of an herb that has sweet taste, but it might jumpstart your gut, so nobody knows for sure. But I would recommend to stick with water, herbal tea, and black coffee because I'm a fan of coffee. I'm biased, guys. The next one, how to be less hungry. Now, yeah, people get excited about fasting, but when you start actually doing that, you get hungry, especially if you're used to eating like 5-6 meals a day or snacking anytime, anywhere. So what to do to feel less hungry? I recommend to stay hydrated. When you feel something warm in your stomach, like maybe coffee, maybe herbal tea, that really helps to be less hungry because your stomach is kind of full and warm and cozy. So it helped me, guys. So I recommend to be hydrated, drink warm liquids. I also recommend to drink things like green tea and black coffee. Those are natural appetite suppressants. And I also would highly recommend to stay away from any food places, from your kitchen, from any place, especially with a lot of food aromas, because that trigger your appetite like that. That's just not questionable, guys. The more you hang around food, especially things like fresh baked goods, some bakery, or, you smell a lot of cooking around you, the more you do that, the harder it's gonna be for you to stick with your fast, especially at the beginning. So stay hydrated, drink green tea, black coffee. Don't hang around food and food places, and sleep well, because sleep or lack of sleep does make us hungry. So those are my top tips for how to not stay hungry. And also eat a nutritionally balanced diet when you do eat, because if you are starving in your eating window while eating, not consuming enough protein and fiber and all the essential vitamins and minerals, then it's going to be that much harder to stick with your fast, because for your body it's like, I'm starving during my eating window and then I'm also starving, so it's going to be starving all the way through. So don't do that. That can also trigger a lot of hunger. And the last but not least, how do I personally fast? Now, my fasting practice has evolved over the years. When I just started out a few years ago, it was harder. It was almost impossible to stick with longer fasts. But as I practiced my fasts, it became easier and easier. The body adapts, our metabolism changes. And so now fasting for 20 hours a day, every day, and then fasting 42 hours weekly seems like no work at all. Well, actually 42 hours does seem like a little bit of work. But 20 hours seems pretty natural now. So don't get discouraged. It's better if you start small and work your way up than start big and abandon it in a couple of days with ultimate suffering experience. So start small, build your way up. That's a good piece of advice based on my personal and professional experience, guys. So that's all you need really to start your intermittent fasting easily to achieve some of your health goals. Maybe gut health, maybe weight loss, maybe just better eating habits and feeling more control around your food and eating habits, maybe building muscle, burning fat at the same time. So those are some goals that people usually have when they try to attempt intermittent fasting. So share this episode with somebody else who also would like to start intermittent fasting, would like to try it out. Try it together, guys, maybe as a challenge for October. Today is the 1st of October, guys, so the time to start a new habit. Maybe it's going to be your intermittent fasting. So a great way to start and stick with it is to have another person equally motivated to also start and continue. You're going to motivate each other, support each other. So that's, but they got to be equally motivated, not the kind of person who's like, oh, I want to do this today, and then tomorrow, fuck it, I'll do something else. Sorry for cursing. But anyhow, guys, that's what you don't want to do. Find someone who is equally motivated, stick with it for months, and then see how it works for your life, what results you're gonna get, how it changes you, and see if you want to continue or do something else. Trying things, experiments. This is the really fun part in life. You can try so many things, see how your life changes, how you change, and then you can keep what works and throw away the rest. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of experiments. Anyhow, guys, I've been talking for a long time already, so thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to rate this episode, this podcast, so more people learn about healthy living, food, healthy lifestyle, nutrition, and more people are healthier, more energetic, and just more awesome. So share this, rate it. And guys, as usual, till next time, after you're done with your fasting, eat better daily.